Many of us use social sites on a daily and, in some occasions, hourly basis. We share our thoughts with friends and, in the case of YouTube and Twitter, complete strangers. When one Twitter user tweeted to his followers he wasn't to know that 140 characters would change his life forever. On the 6th of January, Paul Chambers, a 27-year-old finance worker, sent this tweet into the public domain after becoming frustrated with delays at Robin Hood Airport. He was later arrested under the 1977 Act, which deals with hoax called, with some of Britain's most influential media names such as Charlie Brooker, Graham Linehan and Stephen Fry backing his court appeal, and the Twitter community raising over £23,000 with the Twitter Jolt Trial Fund to help pay for his legal fees. Why isn't this front page news? We hit the street to find out the public's opinion.
For me, Twitter is just, it's something that celebrities use to express their opinion and for people to jump on a particular bandwagon.
I only use Twitter to follow celebrities, so I consider it a stalker.
I have a Twitter account and once or twice a week I'll go on, just check basic updates, celebrity, things like that, but if I do ever notice anything out of the ordinary, I do have an opinion on it.
No, I think the whole point of the internet is you've got freedom of speech and that you can say whatever you like without reprisal, really. I mean, obviously this thing on Twitter at the moment, it was clearly a joke.
It was through columns, through blogs and stuff that I picked up on things, so in all honesty, if it wasn't for Stephen Fry, I probably wouldn't even know about Twitter.
I guess what you're asking is whether it's only because of them that I know about stuff, and that's probably true.
Someone else who understands original intent being lost in text is Glasgow-based author Andrew Drennan, whose first book, Cancer Party, was met with controversy.
I think as soon as you start making alterations to your work with the public opinion or so-called public taste in mind, I think things start to go wrong and you instantly have diluted your work. If I was to have changed some of the material that I put in my first novel, it wouldn't be the novel that I had in mind. A case in point would be the fringe protest group called the Scottish Catholic Alliance, which sought to censor my work and to stop people from selling the book when it came out. I kind of defend their right to say whatever they want and to dislike me and dislike my work. When that becomes a different thing is when they try to tell me that I don't have a right to speak, I don't have a right to sell my book at all. I think that's quite close to what the police are doing with this Twitter terrorist trial. It's very close to the realms of thought crime that we thought were just part of a novel by George Orwell.
Steve Thompson has been a regular Twitter account holder for 4 years and regularly uses it to vent, chat and keep updated through the accounts he follows.
If you're a celebrity, then yeah, sure, you have to be somewhat responsible for what you're saying, because you are a role model of sorts. But if you're just a regular chap like Paul Chambers was, then I don't see why we should be having to police what we say.
I don't think there's any way that you can make alterations to your work with an audience in mind. I think as soon as you start trying to tailor your work to whatever is fashionable or whatever is perceived as being in good taste, I think things start to go wrong with the work. I don't think Twitter is a sort of mouthpiece for celebrities to tell us what to think. I think the public decides on the things that anger them and the issues that they care about, and they will ignore them if they don't think that they're important enough. And clearly a lot of people feel strongly about this Twitter terrorism case to voice an opinion. And I think Stephen Fry's done a great service to freedom of speech to speak up in this matter.
Celebrities do enjoy passing on the knowledge and being the ones who are seen as so influential, important, if you will. But it's not all just about that, because there are a lot of people who've become influential through the knowledge that they are putting out there on Twitter, who wouldn't be celebrities otherwise. A lot of people would argue that they're still not celebrities.
I don't think the threat of terrorism or the threat of terrorists is any time going to be a good enough reason to revoke the privacy that should be a natural right of people on the internet. And that's where this Twitter case comes in, because any reasonable person can see that there was no crime being talked about here. The one thing that's missing from the police's side is context.
I think that the laws on what we can say on social networking sites are just fine, because we have this free speech in society, within reason obviously. So why can't we have that on our social networking sites? Because at the end of the day, that's all it really is, it's just speech.
If the police act within the parameters of the law and use due process, that justice can still be served.
With new social sites appearing every year, constantly changing how we communicate, isn't it time that the law did some changing of its own?
I was on holiday a few years ago in the United States when there was the attack in Glasgow airport. I sent a message to my friend on Facebook saying, just so well I'm over here so I don't look too suspicious, and lo and behold, a couple of hours later the authorities were at my door. I just held my hotel room in question for about 5 hours. So it's all a case of common sense really.